What happens when one of hip-hop's most fashion-forward, calculated artists decides to sit down with the most controversial mouthpiece in rap media? Nah, seriously, think about that for a second. This wasn't just another album promo stop. This was tension in HD. Sources close to the rollout say this moment had been brewing quietly, and when it finally happened, it felt less like an interview and more like a controlled collision. A$AP Rocky is in album mode right now, moving sharp, moving intentional, and just when fans thought the press run would be all vibes and runway fits, boom. He pulls up face-to-face with DJ Akademiks. And trust, this wasn't accidental. But wait, because what Rocky actually did once those cameras were rolling, that's where things get real interesting. Before we break down every layer of this moment, make sure you're locked in, because the deeper this goes, the messier it gets. A$AP Rocky is clearly in his element again. According to industry insiders, this album rollout for Don't Be Dumb has been one of his most focused campaigns yet. No rushing, no panic, just precision. The visuals are crisp, the messaging is sharp, and the confidence? Loud without yelling. This project isn't just music, it's a statement. Early projections whisper big numbers, with some insiders throwing around figures north of 200K first week. And that alone already had the blogs buzzing. Rocky's sound has always lived in its own lane. Psychedelic, Harlem-rooted, fashion-infused. And Don't Be Dumb feels like a reminder that he never left, he just waited. But here's the thing. Every major rollout needs a moment. A headline. A clip that dominates timelines. And Rocky didn't just want attention. He wanted control of the narrative. That's where this interview choice comes in. And oh yes, people noticed. When the photo first surfaced, Rocky and Akademiks sitting side by side, the internet did what it always does. Paused, zoomed in, and started speculating. Fans are confused. Critics were loud. Why him? Of all people, Rocky could have sat with any late-night host, any polished journalist, any culture-friendly outlet that would have lobbed him softballs and kept it cute. But instead, he chose chaos-adjacent energy. And according to sources familiar with Rocky's mindset, that was the whole point. This wasn't about comfort. This was about confrontation. Akademiks has one of the loudest platforms in hip-hop media. Millions watching, reposting, reacting. He thrives on controversy, viral soundbites, and messy discourse. And Rocky knew exactly what kind of room he was walking into. The question wasn't if something would happen. It was when. And trust. When it did, it wasn't subtle. People close to Rocky say this era is about accountability, both personal and cultural. The album title alone, Don't Be Dumb, feels like a warning shot. And choosing Akademiks as an interview partner? That was symbolism. Sources say Rocky wanted to look the conversation dead in the eye. No tweets, no indirects, no online back and forth where things get twisted. This was real time, real life, camera on accountability. He didn't come in yelling. He didn't come in disrespectful. He came in calm, and that's usually the most dangerous version of a person. The kind that doesn't need theatrics because the message is heavy enough on its own. And viewers could feel it. The energy in that room shifted the moment Rocky decided not to dance around the issues. But wait, because this wasn't just about album promo or media ethics. There was a personal undertone simmering under the surface. Now, let's be clear. There's been long-standing chatter online about Akademiks' past commentary, especially when it comes to certain artists and their personal lives. And while nothing was officially confirmed during the sit-down, fans were quick to connect dots. Rocky is fiercely protective of his family. Anyone who's followed his journey knows that. And sources suggest that part of the sit-down may have been fueled by years of side comments, narratives, and online opinions that crossed from commentary into disrespect. Even if nothing explicit was said in that moment, the undertone was unmistakable. Watch how you speak. Words carry weight, especially when your platform is massive. This wasn't about rehashing old drama. It was about setting boundaries in real time. And Akademiks? He felt it. At one point, Akademiks did what he's known for, leaning into potentially messy territory. Hip-hop fans know the drill. Bring up old beefs, name-drop rivals, poke at sensitive history. But here's where the dynamic flipped. Instead of reacting emotionally or dodging, Rocky leaned in. Sources say this was the moment the room really changed. Rocky didn't just answer, he reframed, he redirected, and then he challenged. Not with insults, with truth. He essentially called out the pattern. Say something wild in the moment, apologize later, rinse, repeat. And he didn't do it behind a keyboard. He did it sitting right across from the man himself. That takes a different kind of confidence. And if you watched closely, you could see Akademiks shift. Less bravado, more listening. This was the core of it. According to viewers and insiders alike, Rocky didn't come to argue. He came to correct. He spoke directly about media responsibility, about how platforms lose credibility when opinions start looking paid, biased, or one-sided, about how audiences aren't stupid. They can tell when authenticity slips. Rocky reportedly warned that leaning too hard into drama over substance doesn't just hurt artists. It eventually hurts the platform itself. Viewership drops, trust erodes, and once credibility is gone, it's hard to get back. This wasn't a rant, it was a reality check. And what made it hit harder? The setting, Akademiks' own couch, his own platform, his own audience. Rocky didn't need to raise his voice. The message landed anyway. Here's where hip-hop fans collectively nodded in agreement. Online, Akademiks is loud, bold, sometimes reckless. But in person, according to many who've interacted with him, the energy is different. Quieter, more measured. Rocky understood that. Sources say that's exactly why he insisted on this being face-to-face. No tweets that can be deleted. No clips taken out of context. Just two men, cameras rolling, and nowhere to hide. And the contrast was obvious. The same confidence that floods timelines wasn't quite as loud in the room. That's not shade, that's observation. And it's also why this moment mattered. Rocky zoomed out during the conversation, touching on something bigger than personal grievances. Traditional media is dead. Print magazines, mostly gone. Newspapers, digital shadows of what they used to be. Hip-hop media now lives online. Streams, clips, reactions. And Akademiks sits at the center of that shift. Rocky acknowledged that, gave credit where it was due. But with that credit came a challenge. Do better. Be fair. Be balanced. Remember why people tuned in the first place. Because once platforms turn into nothing but drama farms, the culture suffers. And the culture? That's bigger than any one personality. Some analysts believe this confrontation hit deeper than we saw on camera. Akademiks has faced mounting criticism over the past few years. Platform issues, public backlash, questions about authenticity. Rocky seemed aware of that pressure. Sources speculate that part of his message was almost cautionary, a reminder that chasing viral moments at the expense of integrity eventually leaves you isolated. Big platform, small circle. And in hip-hop, respect still matters. Whether Akademiks takes that message to heart remains to be seen. But it was delivered clearly. This wasn't a shouting match. It wasn't a meme fest. It was something rarer, a public check handled with composure. Rocky didn't embarrass him. He didn't play bully. He played grown. And fans noticed. Social media lit up, not with jokes, but with discussion. About media ethics. About accountability. About how artists should move in this era. That's impact. And from a rollout perspective, genius. The album stayed front and center, but the conversation expanded far beyond music. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. A$AP Rocky knew exactly what he was doing. This interview wasn't random. It wasn't cloud chasing. It was strategic and personal. How Akademiks responds moving forward will say a lot. Will the content shift? Will the tone change? Or will it be business as usual? And as for Rocky, sources say he's just getting started with this era. So if you're watching this unfold in real time, do yourself a favor, stay tuned. Because the next chapter might be even louder. If this breakdown had you nodding along, drop a comment with your take. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because in hip-hop, the tea never stops boiling, and you don't want to miss what spills next.